friends, welcome back to Reedhead Homestead. I am so excited to have you guys here today for a very fun project. I am actually over at my sister-in-law's house and I'm going to be working on a little built-in bench here with some really beautiful board and batten above it. It's going to be, have hooks, and it's kind of, if you guys have seen like mud rooms, where they have the built-in lockers, we're kind of mimicking a similar plan here. So let me show you guys what we have planned. Right when you come off of their front entryway, they have a little spot here that is just going to be so perfect for a little built-in bench with some cubbies down below where we can put, shoes and baskets or, whatever you want to put there. And then this wall is actually super huge. And we're going to do board and batten above the bench here, and it's gonna go all the way up there. So we've got lots of room to work with, which I'm excited about. We're thinking about a color. We're not sure if we wanna do white or if we wanna do a color, so we're considering it. But either way, I think it's gonna be a really fun and functional space for their family. So I've taken over their garage. They were so gracious to give me such a nice space to work out here, which I love. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually start cutting the supports for the bench. And I'm using 1/2-inch thick plywood to do that. And then I'm gonna cover the face of them with a 1x2. These are a 2x4 sheet of plywood instead of a 4x8. When I saw that, I was like, perfect. I can actually fit that in my truck so nicely and I can carry it. So if you guys are a one-person show and you're trying to, get all your materials by yourself, because I also had all of this stuff to get. If you're a one-person show, you can, get these smaller sheets and they're so much easier to manage. After we cut the plywood to size, I started cutting down all the boards to assemble the base of the bench. I'm using 1x4s for this and use my Craig pocket hole jig to drill pocket holes. If you've never seen a Craig jig before, it's basically the secret sauce to DIY. This little tool can help you assemble boards together in a jiff and can totally disguise how things are really put together. Here you'll see my sister-in-law. This is Mark's oldest sister. She was so excited to learn some new skills and wanted to help me with this project. We always have so much fun when we work together. It is the next day and I'm so excited to work on everything. We decided on a paint color. Let me show you guys. Okay, this is the color that we are going with. This is Quarry Rock by Benjamin Moore. Let me turn my light off so you guys can kind of see it in its natural form, but it's just got that kind of deep, grayish green blue undertone, and I just think it's gonna be absolutely stunning. So I'm actually gonna start by removing the baseboards today. Let me show you guys how much progress we made on the bench last night, but I'm gonna remove the baseboards and get the wall painted. So here's the bench. There's quite a few different ways to assemble a bench like this. Of course, we just put everything together with pocket holes. You guys probably saw my sister-in-law on camera, so she was helping me with this. I will tell you, I invested in these clamps. Wow. Why did I not invest in these sooner? These made putting this together so much easier and so much more accurate. So highly recommend that if you're using pocket holes that you invest in a clamp like this. It's absolutely fabulous. We put our braces in the middle because she wants her baseboards down at the bottom. You can just use, I just have, those are 1x4s. You can just use 1x4s as your bottom brace, but she wanted to do her baseboards there at the bottom to kind of tie everything in with the rest of the room. So I'm gonna get the base, the base of the bench all painted ahead of time before I put the top on and before I install it in place, just because I feel like that is gonna save me quite the headache if instead of being on my hands and knees trying to get underneath and get it all painted. So I think it's gonna be much easier that way. So I'm gonna work on that now. coat of paint on the base of the bench, and it goes against my being because this is what I'm using. I am using this Behr Premium Plus, and it's the paint and primer. I don't normally use paints that have paint and primer, but I did use this recently on a different project, and I really was happy with it. And so because it has a primer in it, and because it literally says on the back to use this paint as the primer, I'm like, okay, it goes against my being to not do a primer, but we'll see how it goes. I do think it's gonna be just fine because it's not like it's like a high traffic item. It's just kind of sitting on the floor, you know, if you will. I'm loving the color so much. While all of that is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and work on the bench top. You would be surprised how much math goes into a simple little bench. I'm like, holy cow, my goodness, my head is spinning with numbers. But what I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing for the bench top, I think it's gonna be really cute. There are a couple different ways that you could do the bench top. We are doing it with just some wood, and I'm gonna go ahead and beef up the wood. It's gonna be an 1.5 inch thick top, so I think it's just gonna look a little bit chunkier and a little bit more custom, and I love that look. And so for the top, so it's not, there it goes. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're kind of doing a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call that a herringbone pattern. You could, you know, do 2 straight pieces and, you know, put them together, or you could do 2 pieces and do a 45 and then connect them that way. So it just depends on whatever look you want, but I thought that this will actually be really cute and add a little bit of visual interest to the project as well. So that's what we're gonna work on. We are gonna keep the top stained. It's gonna be Special Walnut by Varathane. I'll show you guys that. And I think it's just gonna be really cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started cutting down all my pieces and get this assembled. Since I wanted the bench seat to be thicker and sturdy, I chose to double up on my material. I'm using common pine for the bottom portion of the seat, and I'm assembling it with pocket holes to look like this. I chose to do it this way because the herringbone pattern on the top will be supported by the bottom boards in the corner there. I also went with common pine for the bottom because it saved a little bit of money, but you could also just use plywood and cut it down to size since no one is going to see it. As I mentioned before, I'm assembling the top boards of the bench in a herringbone pattern, and I'm using select pine for this. Select pine is a little bit more pricey, however, it will give the bench a higher end look. Here I am sandwiching the top and bottom sections of the bench together using some wood glue, and then I'm going to clamp this together to dry overnight.
Oh my God. You have to put that in.
So here is the bench top, and what I have done is I used select pine for the top, and then I used common pine for the bottom just because it's, you know, less expensive and it doesn't matter. And for the, you know, side that people are gonna see, I wanted that to look really nice. So in the corner here, you can kind of see they've got a cute little stack. I think it's gonna be beautiful. And then on the edges, I am gonna put a 1x2 on its side, so it's gonna come all the way around and cover all of the edges. So I think it'll just make it look, you know, it's a little bit more chunky. So it is one, yeah, it's really heavy. It's one big solid piece this morning. So we just got a coat of wood conditioner on this. So we're waiting for this to dry. Once it's dry, we can do the first coat of stain. This is what we're using. This is the Varathane Pre-Stain. It's water-based wood conditioner.
It's our first time using Varathane.
Yes, this is my first time using Varathane. Normally I'm a Minwax kind of gal. And then for the stain color, we're also using Varathane. And this is in Special Walnut. They have another wood top in their home that is this color, so that's why we're going with this to kind of tie everything together. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top it. Do you guys like my mess here? Such a mess. And then I'm gonna top it oh, this one, sorry, with some polyacrylic. I prefer polyacrylic over polyurethane. It actually just dries so much faster. That's the main reason, you know, I don't like dry time. Yes.
That's the best reason.
So, and it holds up so super well. So I'll be topping it with that. Let me show you guys the bench inside. You wanna go show them?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it. So first, this was the first bench that we made, like the first, you know, little bay, if you will. And then we made this one next. And then I installed this one, and we have it into any of the studs that we could find. Same with this one here. And then I went ahead and put a support here and a support here and mounted those to the studs in the wall. And then I put in this piece here, and then I put in that piece there just using pocket holes. So that way this whole entire back corner is supported. Now these are all tied in together and supported. So you could assemble this a number of different ways. In my mind, this is just kind of what made sense, but it is like, it's so sturdy, which is what we want. So that way this countertop back here, we wanted this whole entire section to be open. And that way this whole thing is still supported with, you know, the bench. So I can't wait to get the bench installed. This stain went on beautifully. We did 2 coats and then sealed it with 2 coats of the polyacrylic. I wanted to share with you guys that I used the DAP plastic wood filler in the shade Natural to fill my nail holes on the front and was very impressed with how it stained and blended with the rest of the project. Finally, we are getting the bench top in, and I love the way that it turned out. I am first pre-drilling holes through the supports in the base of the bench so that I can attach the top of the bench to the bottom. I use screws to secure everything together here. So I'm working on installing the batten, and I just wanted to share a little pro tip with you guys really quick. So as you are cutting lumber for your project, you might end up with little scraps like this and stuff that you cut off the ends of your boards to get them straight or whatever, or maybe even purposely cut a few of them that are just a little bit extra, you know, widths, lengths, whatever as you're doing your project, because this one literally just came in handy for a shim. This is how uneven the wall is. It's not me, I swear. It's the wall. So yeah, save these because I was able to just go through and try a bunch of different ones until I found the perfect one. So just a little tip for you guys if you're installing any sort of trim on your wall. Here I am starting to assemble the board and batten pieces on the wall. I did a coat of paint on everything before I started securing it because I just think it makes the painting process in the end so much easier. The most important thing with board and batten is to make sure all your boards are level and all the connecting pieces are flush with each other. Here you can really see how uneven this wall is, so I used some pretty big shims to get these boards flush. I decided to use liquid nail on this side because they have a shower right on the other side of this wall with a very large niche right where these boards actually needed to sit. Luckily, they had a picture of the plumbing in the wall before the shower was put in, so I really had to be careful and selective of where I could put nails. We used frog tape to hold the boards in place and let the glue cure overnight. I used a product called backer rod to help fill some of the larger gaps that this uneven wall caused. I actually just used the blunt end of a spoon to stuff this behind the boards, and then I was able to caulk over it. This just helps so that the caulking doesn't get lost behind the boards. I feel like it's been just a minute since I've actually hopped on and updated you guys because I've been caulking and filling nail holes for what seems like forever, and I know you guys see me do that all the time on here, so if you have questions about how I do that, you could probably watch any of my videos and you'll see me caulking and filling holes. So anyway, I have everything caulked for this project. I did caulk all of the inside boxes, everything, every little gap that can be caulked has been caulked. I will say that backer rod, it did work pretty well. We had some really super big gaps on this wall just because the wall literally had like a huge bow in it right in the center. So working around that was, having the backer rod was definitely really helpful. So everything is taped off and ready to go. I did pick up we have this one little outlet over here. We have one little outlet here, and I just felt like having that white really was gonna stick out. So I actually bought these little paintable outlet covers, and so you can use these and paint over them, and then it will kind of blend in with the project. Or if you're lazy like Mark and I, and you had yellow, outlets throughout your house, and we wanted everything to be white, we had changed a few of them out to white, and we were like, yeah, we're done with this. We've got like 50 more to go. So we just actually put these white covers over them, and you would never know. But now I guess you know, because you know our secret. So everything is taped off, ready to go. I am so excited. The hook should be here today, and I'm going to show you guys the baskets, and I think we're going to be wrapping this thing up tonight. I cannot wait to show you guys.
7 hours driving on the highway, far away, far away, far away. Every moment I was spending on regrets was such a waste, such a waste, such a waste. Looking on the city lights, flashing bright in my eyes. Look up to the sky and I got this relief inside, and there's no need to hide.
The nook is all done, and I am so excited to show you guys how it turned out. Let me take you over this way so you can see. Here it is, and all my craziness. I am just so obsessed. I am especially obsessed with the color. If you guys know, if you've watched some of my channel, you know I don't do like a whole lot of color, so being able to do some color put me out of my element, and I just love it. Now I want this color everywhere. We love the color so much, we did the front door. So the front door is something that from the dining room you can see right when you walk in. I mean, how stunning. You kind of see both the colors, both the spaces together, and I just think it's so fun that this color makes a statement right when you walk in their home, and then as you come in their home, you're greeted by the nook as well. I am just so in love with how this project turned out. My sister-in-law picked out these hooks. These are from Target, and we went ahead and went with 2 on each here and then 1 here. Of course, if you guys can tell, this space is smaller than the other side. So these actually, having the 2 hooks over here was just a little bit crowded. So we went with 1, and she has 4 kids. So they're a family of 6, and so we wanted as much hooks as possible so that way they can utilize them, and when guests come over, they can utilize the hooks as well, and I just think it looks so great in this space. She also picked out these baskets. These are also from Target, very simple, but add some texture to the space as well. And I like that they're a lighter wood, so they add just a little bit of contrast as well. I feel like it's gonna be so fun and functional for their family. It helps them to keep organized, when you've got 4 kids. It's just so nice to have a dedicated space where everything goes. So I absolutely love this project. This was something that was a little bit challenging for me, I'll admit to you guys. I was very intimidated going into this because when she said she wanted the L-shaped bench and doing a bench, I've never done a bench before, but now I feel like I could actually maybe build a cabinet or something. Every single project you build on your skills and you learn a little bit more, and it's so fun to even take what you've learned from previous projects and apply them to something new. It's been so much fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how this came together. Of course, we always have more in store here, so stay tuned, stick around, and I'll catch you guys really soon.